Be sure to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button and scroll down and get on our mailing list. Why? Because every now and then, from time to time, for reasons I don't understand, YouTube has issues with our videos. So to make sure you don't miss anything, get on our mailing list. Also, you see that big donate button, hit that, throw a little something in the tip jar to make sure you still get hard-hitting, honest shows. And remember, Larry with epoch.com, Larry with epoch.com. In October last year, the founder of the World Economic Forum outlined his view about which economic system is the economic system of the future.
Who will really command the fourth industrial revolution and its technology like artificial intelligence?
What's your sense of who's best placed at this time to lead the world into the fourth industrial revolution? Because you pretty much created this term. We're seeing the kind of technological strides that China has made with Huawei, with the 5G technology. Do you believe that this could potentially be China's time once again?
We should make here again let's say a differentiation. On the one hand, we have state capitalism. On the other hand, we have shareholder or private capitalism. So it's a clash between two systems. I believe that state capitalism in the short term provides certain advantages because you can mobilize in a concentrated way a lot of resources to reach a specific objective. But I believe that the future is not state capitalism or shareholder capitalism. The future is what I call stakeholder capitalism, which is combined with the social responsibility.
I'm sure that made sense to somebody. In other words, we elites, the ones who gather every year in Davos, as I just did, we are the ones who should be put in charge. After all, we have superior knowledge and understanding about the world and how to handle its various crises. Take Al Gore. He says global warming causes xenophobia and authoritarianism, and we must take action.
Of the land and creating the droughts and melting the ice and raising the sea level and causing these waves of climate refugees predicted to reach 1 billion in this century. Look at the xenophobia and political authoritarian trends that have come from just a few million refugees. What about 1 billion? We would lose our capacity for self-governance on this world. We have to act. So in answer to your question, I would say, we have to have a sense of urgency much greater than we have yet had, and we need to make some changes.
Mr. Gore, can you dial it down just a few notches? And this driver of VIPs at Davos says he's not allowed to use electric vehicles. Why? They're too unreliable.
What about your car?
My car is normal because for VIP I cannot drive electricity auto.
I just interviewed one driver. Okay, now I'm going to interview one of the driver. He does not prefer to show his face. So how are you doing tonight?
Tonight it's well, like yesterday also. VIPs all almost come today because tomorrow they beginning. It's chaos.
What kind of people do you drive for?
I cannot say.
Okay, I understand.
VIP too.
I saw Uber cards.
Yes.
On the side it says 100 electricity.
That's right.
Yes.
All Tesla and all electricity because here they need without gas or without petrol. Only electricity to drive here with Uber. Yes, I know that.
What about your car?
My car is normal because for VIP I cannot drive electricity auto.
Electricity cars, for example, Tesla. Sometimes it like an accident or if there is no electricity.
It's very dangerous because I locked out if you have some problem over the brand out. That's a big problem with the Tesla. But now almost all they are from Tesla here. For Uber actually, yeah.
Uber is Tesla too?
It's Tesla, yes.
I wonder if the heavy storm comes, what do you think about this only electricity powered car? Is it gonna be okay?
It is the same problem. It's the same problem. Because the electricity, they need energy too. It's the same. What's the safe? Nothing. What's the safe? Nothing. They save the nature. The nature the same because electricity they need energy too.
I know. To make electricity, we need to burn something or...
Maybe, yeah.
And I asked about the 100% electricity powered cars, and he said it's dangerous.
Ease for you, but not for me. I drive a normal car because I've got VIPs. Are the Biden administration's New Year's goals of tax and spend and turn a blind eye to inflation at odds with your goals of securing your savings? When you've finally had enough of the games government is playing with your savings and retirement, diversify into gold with Birch Gold. I know I'm tired of my money being impacted by stupid decisions by leaders in Washington. I bet you are too. For over 5,000 years, gold has withstood inflation, geopolitical turmoil, and stock market crashes. And here's the great news. You can still get it. In fact, you can own gold and silver in a tax-sheltered retirement account. Birch Gold makes it easy to convert an IRA or 401k into an IRA in precious metals. Here's what you need to do. Just visit larryforgold.com to claim your free info kit on gold. With almost 20 years experience converting IRAs and 401ks into precious metal IRAs, Birch Gold can help you protect yourself with gold today by visiting larryforgold.com. They've got an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, thousands of happy customers, and countless 5-star reviews. So, secure your future with gold. Start today with a free info kit. There's zero obligation to make this request. Just visit larryforgold.com. That's larryforgold.com. Joining me to discuss this is Epoch Times reporter Kevin Stockland. By the way, to get a deeper look at the World Economic Forum and its ESG agenda, visit theshadowstate.com, where you can watch Kevin's remarkable documentary on the topic. Again, please welcome Kevin Stockland. Kevin, what did the world do before there was a World Economic Forum?
Well, I guess we had a market economy where we could match supply and demand. We seem to have quite a lot of abundance in food and fuel. These things seem to be affordable for a lot more people. So the World Economic Forum has been kind enough to step up and solve those problems for us.
Do they have any idea, Kevin, how pompous they sound?
The lack of self-awareness at this meeting is absolutely stunning. They said that the number one threat facing humanity in the next couple of years is the cost of living crisis. And they are bewildered how this possibly could have happened and who did this to us, seemingly unaware that their war on fossil fuels that's been going on for the last couple of decades and supported by the people sitting at this forum in Davos, Switzerland, is really the cause of the cost of living crisis.
Kevin, what are some of the other crises that they've warned us about?
Well, in the short term, they are basically saying that, basic things like food and fuel have become unaffordable for so many people, and we're seeing a descent into poverty for a lot of parts of the world. But they are quick to say that in the longer term, i.e. over the next 10 years, climate change is the number one threat by far facing humanity. And therefore, what we must do is double down on our policies of fighting fossil fuels and transitioning to wind and solar power.
Was there any dissent? Did anybody raise his or her hand and say, now wait a second, we have other problems that are not quite as dire as this, and that technology will probably deal with the so-called effects of climate change that you guys are worried about? Did anybody have a dissenting point of view?
There wasn't a dissenting point of view in Davos, but there's been a lot of dissent in 2022 that I think is causing a lot of concern for Klaus Schwab and the other attendees. I'll just run through a few. So, for example, Sri Lanka has implemented a lot of the WEF climate change policies by banning the import of synthetic fertilizer. That caused a famine and starvation, and it caused the government to collapse and be ejected from the country. We saw conservative governments rise in Italy and Sweden as a response to a lot of these policies. We've seen quite a lot of pushback from red states in the United States that are now passing laws to ban ESG investing with their state pension money. And according to a recent KPMG survey, 60% of CEOs around the world are starting to rethink and reconsider their commitment to ESG. So I think there's a tremendous amount of dissent. It's just not happening in Davos.
Kevin, tell me about Mr. Klaus Schwab. Who is he? How long has he had this Davos thing? And what gives him the clout, prestige, and credibility that people ought to be listening to him?
It's a baffling story. You know, he has a thick Swiss or German accent. I'm not sure which. He's written a number of books on this subject, but somehow he's been able to establish this annual gathering. And they've had record attendance this year. They've had CEOs from about 600 of the top global corporations, 1,500 political leaders. So it's very well attended. And the amazing thing is, these policies that they're pushing, we've now seen over the last couple of years how damaging they are, how many people they're pushing into poverty and desperation. And I think we may be getting to a day where corporations, corporate leaders no longer want to attach their company's name to this organization. But for now, it's been record attendance. And for some reason, this is something that global leaders and corporate leaders the world over want to be part of.
Kevin, do they not see the irony, the hypocrisy in flying over there and using these corporate jets while moaning about climate change and saying that we ought to switch from fossil fuels to renewables? Do they not see the inconsistency there?
There doesn't seem to be a lot of irony among this crowd. They don't seem to have any recognition. You know, the corporate jets are certainly one thing. The beachfront property that's being purchased by, you know, the Obamas and the Bill Gates family also seems to call into question their fear about rising sea levels and all the other things that they're talking about. But again, to me, the biggest level of hypocrisy is they seem unable to recognize the damage that these policies have done to ordinary people. And their only solution is to double down and do more of that.
Kevin Stalkland, Epoch Times reporter. Kevin, thank you very much for manning the fort for us over there in Davos. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on.
When we come back, does the Biden administration want to ban gasoline-powered stoves? And the aforementioned Al Gore claims that renewables are now the most inexpensive energy on the planet. Now remember, you can always leave a message. 888-971-7243, 888-971-SAGE. Make sure, as I said earlier, your message is under 59 seconds. And por favor, no profanity. I'm Larry Elder. This has been the Larry Elder Show for Epoch Times. Remember, we've got a country to save. I'll see you next time.